Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
You're watching The Whole Living Show on Trajectory TV.
Hey, boom, ba bow. So I have to tell on, she's not a guest, she's family here. I have to tell on my bestie because she's making all these moves in the background while the song is playing. So I have to say, I do love my opener. Thank you to Mrs. Brandy Johnson for that show opener. But my bestie's in the back doing this boom, ba bow, bow, and she's doing all kind of dance moves. So it's just good to see all the joy that comes out of that show opener. But we are back for another episode of The Whole Living Show. And tonight's episode is about conversations that we now need to have with our parents. Now, if you caught our sister show, Fem Talk, last night, we were talking about conversations that our parents never had with us. And we started thinking about the ones that we now need to have because we are the adults now. And our parents sometimes become the children a little bit. So it's conversations that we need to have with our parents. So we're just going to have fun with this tonight. Before I bring in my bestie, though, I wanted to talk to you about, when you are looking for supplements, be it your vitamins, your minerals, your probiotics, things that you need to take on a daily basis, things that you want to help replenish your body. And I'm bringing this up because we went to the functional medicine doctor today and he was talking about third-party testing of products, and I am a big proponent of third-party testing. I think that anything that you are consuming, particularly when you are taking something orally, it should be third-party tested. It should be regulated by some other entity outside of like a Food and Drug Administration. Just to do some due diligence on the product, make sure that the efficacy of the product and the wholeness and the fullness of the product and the integrity of the ingredients are there. And that's what third party testing does. So I wanted to mention that to all of you. You know, we like to give you these health tips here, but make sure that you are not only reading the ingredients in products, but that you are doing some research to see, have these products been third party tested and by which companies, and then check out those companies and see what reputation they have in regards to the research that they do for the third-party testing. So I wanted to mention that. And this also comes up in particular because there have been some cases now where people are purchasing supplements on different sites, and the integrity is in question, where they have been replacing what should have been top-notch ingredients with the lesser of, and they're supposed to be brands that are known for top-notch, and I'm putting on my air quotes here, but are known for top-notch ingredients, that where their distributors, not even the company themselves, but distributors have been replacing the top-notch ingredients with the lesser of. So you may not be getting the quality that you would like. So make sure that your products are third-party tested, and you know, whenever you can, go directly to the company that manufactures those products and try to get them off of their site for those companies that do the third-party testing, because then you know the integrity is there and they're not going through so many different distribution channels before they get to you. All right. So we are going to bring in my bestie, and we're going to talk about conversations that we now need to have with our parents. Hey, bestie.
Hey, how are you, whole living? You guys weren't at the dance party.
Exactly. And I was laughing. I was cracking up because you were doing like all these different types of moves. Right? Exactly. And making faces.
I was like, she can see me. I'm going to make her laugh before she opens the show.
I absolutely love it. See, this is why that is my bestie. But, you know, in light of that, right, get joy wherever you can, right? That was a little piece of joy for me. I'll be honest with you, because I'm just cracking up while the show opener is going on. But get joy wherever you can, you know, take those little moments. And that was what, you know, 2 minutes, not even, maybe a minute, right? A minute of joy that just brightened me up before we actually started this show. Mm-hmm. So, you know, wherever you can get your joy from. So thank you for that, first of all.
You're welcome.
But wherever you can get your joy from, make sure that you're doing that. It only takes a minute. Sometimes you have to just stop and fill yourself with something good, be it, you know, laughter, music, you know, I don't know what it is, a good poem, something that gives you joy. But make sure that you fill your life with some joy. It only takes a few moments to actually flip a switch too, right? You can change your mood so quickly in a moment when you take a moment just to do something that makes you happy. So
I have to be honest. I've just said to her, oh, I'm so congested. My nose is stuffed. I hope you guys, I'm pretty sure you can hear it. So I had to get silly. I needed a little immune boost. And I had to, you know, clear my nostrils, and it helped. Because a minute ago, I was like this. Yeah. Y'all don't want to see that. You guys didn't tune in to see that.
Exactly. So there you have it. She just gave herself some joy too while she was in the background waiting backstage.
Absolutely.
Yes. So listen, we were talking, and we'd have to like kind of give people a little bit of what we talked about last night, right? So we were talking on our sister show, Fem Talk, about, you know, the conversations that our parents never had with us. And we were talking about how, you know, those sex conversations weren't happening, how, you know, all of those kind of combined bundle of, you know, wellness items, be it, you know, your physical health care or, having insurance or credit or finances and money management. We were talking about how those conversations just did not take place. It was like, we kind of had to, get out there and figure it out, right? We talked about things like swimming, right? Even fun things that were not introduced to us in the past that we just had to really figure out. And it just sparked a conversation between us about now the things that we are teaching our own parents and conversations that we need to have with them in order for them to manage life better, really is what it is, right? So I wanted to start off with the scammers.
Oh,
right? And helping to protect our parents from the scammers. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna let you take this one away first.
Well, they seem like they're looking for friends. So they're entertained, or should I say interested, in the text messages and the phone calls when they come.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it's so many ways. Technology has changed so much since they've started with any kind of phone.
Yeah.
Chatting with those people is not the way.
Yeah.
And every single text message is not for you. And I don't need you to be entertained by them. Yeah. And you know what they're doing. We talk about it all the time, to be more specific and less jokey. We have so many advancements with AI. They're waiting for your voice. They want your confirmation. Mm-hmm. And then it's almost like, oh, if I get you to say the YES word, if I get you to say your name, then I can use it, saying you gave me permission, mm-hmm. or use it to access some other information by using your voice and the sound of your voice.
Yeah.
We got to be careful with it. They talk about it all the time. We joke about our ages all the time. AARP tells us all the time. Be careful of the scams. And that's that. So our parents are what? 70, 80. Some of them, my grandparents are 90.
Yeah. You
think they're not targeting them first?
Yeah. Well, here's the interesting thing about that. I'm glad that you said this. So thank you for bringing up the AI point and, mm-hmm. Getting those voices to do voiceovers for access, right? But here's the interesting thing about the different generations. So that 70s, 80s group, for us, our parents are they're young 70s, 80s, right? But my grandma, right? My grandma does not. So first of all, she doesn't have a cell phone. So they can't target her via cell phone. She still has a landline and she's 95 years old. But interestingly enough, my grandma does not play around. If somebody calls her with anything, she does not entertain the conversation. Mm-hmm. And she will tell them, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't call back here anymore. So that generation is a little bit different. They don't have tolerance for, right. And it comes from one, just not having the tolerance, right, and not being interested, but also noting that they don't have a level of understanding, nor do they want to. Right. So they just exit quick, right?
And they weren't exposed to it.
Yeah.
Like you said, she's never had a cell phone. Yeah. So it doesn't matter to her that you're calling or texting because she doesn't do that. Yeah. And if you're calling her house, it's all, like you said, her level of tolerance is, I don't even want to talk to you. Why are you calling me?
Right.
Especially if she's watching Judge Judy.
Exactly.
Let's just say that.
Exactly.
Oh my God. I have to laugh because my stepdad is no longer with us. And he seemed like he liked talking to them. The IRS calls him. They're not calling you.
Right.
They're not calling the chat and talk about what you owe. They're going to send you correspondence in the mail.
Exactly.
And before you know it, the first thing they're asking is you to verify your information that they have. And that's the first thing you want to say. Don't. You didn't call them. They called you.
Right.
You want to catch that immediately. It's so many ploys out there.
Yeah.
They're getting us, and we are tech savvy.
Yeah.
So,
and I want to mention a few too, right? But just because we want people to beware, because this is about living healthy lifestyles too, right? And if we can protect you from, any credit scams, anyone cheating you out of your money in the bank, right? Like we want to make sure anyone getting to your credit cards, right? We want to make sure that you're being protected. So there's a few scams out there. One is they're sending text messages about paying a toll and that you need to pay this toll for whatever jurisdiction. It doesn't really matter, but they're not going to send you those text messages for you to pay a toll. And what I want people to do too is when you get those messages, look at the URL where they're telling you to go, right? They're not legitimate. And you can usually see that because they'll put, even if it looks legitimate, they'll put an extension on it that is not, right? So you want to make sure. So if it says, I don't know, like motorvehicle.gov, whatever, it's going to have some type of extension because they don't have access to the motor vehicle department in your area, right? So just wanted people to be aware. There's also one where they're saying they're coming from your motor vehicle department in your area and that you have some type of, it's either a toll, outstanding toll or a bill with them. And then they're giving you a list of what would potentially happen if you don't click that link and pay, or they're asking you to say yes so they can send you a link. These are not real, right? And pay attention to where they're coming from. I, for example, got one from a foreign number. So my state's motor vehicle is not going to send me a text message from a foreign number. They're not going to send me a text, period, but they're not going to send me a text message from a foreign number. Or you'll see where there's like a crazy email, right, with this crazy string of numbers and partial name. We want you to be aware of these things. What about you? What have you seen?
Well, right now we are seeing a lot of the text messages about the Easy Pass or any kind of toll paying. And of course, the same thing. Your IRS bill is due. Now, I need us to have a high level of knowledge, because if they send you an Easy Pass bill that says a text that says you pay your bill, I need you to ask yourself: do you have Easy Pass?
Right.
Have you driven through a toll? Do you even drive?
Yeah.
If they're sending you those and that is not something that you do, you don't panic, you don't click anything, you delete it. If it's not something you have any access to or experience with, don't respond. And one of the other red flags, like you said, not only are they coming from crazy numbers, out of state, out of country, with crazy emails, most legitimate companies are going to create a short code. So your short codes are going to be 5 or more, or 5 or less. It could be 5 or 6 numbers, and it's going to be designated to that company. And like you said about the URL, you're going to see dmv.gov or NJ, like from New Jersey, njDMV.gov. And like you said, really pay attention. It might say NNDMV.gov or NMDMVS.gov. Those are not legitimate websites.
Even after the .gov, it'll have like a / something.
And all this craziness, right?
Yeah.
Just be mindful of that and how that comes across.
Yeah.
And that also leads to getting those what are the other ones? The other emails that say, oh my God, it was one the other day I wanted to talk about today and I can't remember. I just delete them. I don't pay attention to them.
Right. Yeah, but we are bringing this up because, there's been so many instances where our parents have said, what is this? Should I click this? How do I handle this? Or get scared because they think that they have some outstanding bill that they need to pay. And thankfully, they're asking the question first.
Right.
And not just clicking on the URL and going to pay, you know, whatever whatever entity is sending it. They're not just going to pay it.
I keep giggling because if you mistakenly tap on a link, never sign into your account. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's what they're waiting for. Your username and your password on a strange account. I have to laugh at my mother because I was away and 3-hour difference, and she was trying to log on to church service through her iPad on a Facebook link that was making her change her password. And she was trying to enter her information. Thank God her daughter is a techie. So it's notifying me that she's trying to change her password. But what if it didn't? You know, it wants you, listen, the internet is just out there like a little numbers monster trying to grab as much binary information as they can. And the more you give them, the more they have use for it. And they'll just transfer it right over to the black market. And who knows what happens at that point.
Yeah.
We all know what happens at that point.
Another scam that came about, and this is another one for, you know, our parents, but everyone, right, to be aware of, is when you get phone calls that tell you that you have a warrant for your arrest. That's another one. You have a warrant for your arrest, and you have to come pay some money. Now here, what they've been doing is having you go to, they're saying that you're paying through, oh gosh, what is it called? Like a bounty. You're paying a bounty company, but they're sending people to cryptocurrency machines.
Yes.
That's not going to happen. And the reason why they're doing that is because it's untraceable. Once you send that money through that machine, you can't get it back.
Yeah. And they're telling you to pay with gift cards or things like that. That is an immediate red flag. Crypto is more advanced. The previous was, get 100 gift cards at $50 a gift card.
Yeah. Or send me money first and I'll send it back.
I'll send it back to you. Right. That's the other one.
Yeah.
And they're scaring. It's very scary. You brought that. I'm glad you brought that one up because they also do it with your family members. They'll say to you, oh, so and so, because you could do a search, and I'm just gonna say this: you can do a search, and it'll tell you who related people are to certain people. So if they get that information, they call you, and let's say it's my mom. Oh, Shima is locked up, or she's in a lot of trouble, and you need to send this money so you can get her out. Now they shouldn't be texting you, but they may, and they may call you. So what you would want to do, call the person. Reach out to that person. Don't just quickly give this money away or give information away or give these people access to your life.
Yeah.
I know it's scary, but you got to stop and think for a minute.
Yeah. And even when they're saying you have some warrants, right? Go to the police station. Right. You know you haven't done anything. I would go to the police station and report their information, right? Report their numbers, report it, right? I don't know if there will be much that they can do because technology is so advanced now. It's hard to trace, but just go there, go to the police station and report it.
I'm going to make you laugh. Now, if you don't know that you have a warrant and you go there green-eyed and you're going to do what a good citizen would do and check to see if you have warrant. And if you turn out to have one, they're keeping you. I'm just going to get you ready.
Yeah. And then you will need a bail bondsman.
Right.
In that case.
I'm just saying.
But these are things that come across where our parents get scared and they're asking the questions, and where they may not be so savvy with the technology or don't really understand what's coming across. We want to make sure that we are protecting them from all of these scams out there because there's so many. There's so many.
Yes. You know, I want to pivot a little bit to another category that it's hard to have conversation about because they're older and we all have to go. So to have the conversation about like what, how, and when, like funerals, burials, things like that. That is such a hard conversation. It is definitely something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
But how do you go to your parent who's taking care of you your entire life, and cared for you, and then say to them, "Oh well, where do you want to be buried?" or "How do you want your funeral to look?" Because none of us want to face the fact that that's going to come.
Yeah.
You know, how's that? Have you had that conversation, Tracy?
No, we've only talked about, well, I shouldn't say we haven't had that conversation, not in full detail. Let me just put it that way. There's certain things that my mom will say in terms of, she definitely wants to be buried and not cremated, right? Things like that. Where the insurance policy is, right? Like that's known, but not in full detail. Like she hasn't given me the script of what the funeral should look like, what the full ceremony should look like.
Right.
And sometimes I feel like that needs to happen, particularly if you have a case where there's multiple siblings and you can't agree. Well, if it's written, then, what can people really say about it, right?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
leaves less guesswork
Mm-hmm.
for the two.
Absolutely.
But it's just me and my sister. So whatever we decide is what we do.
Yeah.
But it's hard too. I gotta say, my mother and I have had conversations about the burial because honestly, I'm not a person who goes to the gravesite and sit.
Mm-hmm.
Because listen, I believe that your spirit is gone and you are not on this.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak to you wherever.
Mm-hmm.
I speak to God wherever. I can speak to you wherever your spirit goes up with Him. But in the beginning, when I would ask her where do you want your remains buried, she said wherever you guys are going to visit.
Because you're gonna know that I'm visiting there.
I know, right? Aren't you going to see me when I'm not visiting? Because I am a believer that you will see me.
Yeah.
When I'm not visiting.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are very hard. And I think prior to that is breaching the conversation. And one of those first conversations is wills.
Yeah.
You want to know what to do with all these possessions and all these things that you value.
Yeah.
And that it takes that's a hard conversation to have once you start talking about those things, because you know that you're talking about the end.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's inevitable, right? It comes for everyone, unfortunately. So it is a conversation to have. Yeah, and it gets sticky with family members too. So you want to be able to outline exactly what you want so that there's no mistake about it, right? Because then people start to argue and it can get messy with family members if you don't. Yeah. And that's unfortunate too. Yeah.
Those conversations are hard.
Absolutely. So I wanted to mention another one when it comes to the parents, and I want the stop stressing, right? I feel like from the biggest to the smallest thing, if the level of concern seems to be so serious, right? And sometimes you just have to take a moment and breathe and stop stressing about things so much so that you can manage it, right? Whatever that thing is, right? Be it something very serious like what we were just talking about, or illness or something of that nature, or, just what someone said, right? Which is not, really may not have anything to do with you at all.
Right.
But to stop stressing so much. So I know that those are conversations that I've had a lot of late, right?
Yeah.
Kind of
There's less patience involved.
Takes so much weight off of everything. You know what I mean? Because everything has to be managed, everything has to be handled. But when you're allowing your stress levels to elevate, right, it makes it that much harder to do. And then it puts you in a position where you could create some type of illness for yourself. So you got to stop stressing and just manage life and do what we were saying at the beginning of this show. Find little pieces of joy in your day where you can take breaks and and not stress about whatever situation is happening. So I wanted to mention that one too, because I feel like that generation
Right.
has a higher level of stress.
They're so intense about so many things.
Yeah.
And they've had all this lifetime of caring for others. And unplugging is just unheard of for them.
Yeah.
And we had to learn that.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably didn't
Mm-hmm.
during that. So trying to get them to unplug now is like taking the reins away.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's good. I love that point. I love that point. And I guess, it's generational, right? It's the way they were raised. Everything was do, go, 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 right? Instead of just be. Sometimes you need to just be, just sit still and just be. And create other like facets, outlets for yourself.
Right.
Create those facets of outlets for yourself. And that does not normally happen with that generation. So those are conversations. And we're going to have that conversation when you all come here to Charlotte, North Carolina. We have to create those moments for those two beautiful young ladies that are coming here.
Yes.
To just be.
Pray for us. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
That's a good mother-daughter conversations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So listen, give me one. Is there anything else that you were thinking of?
Oh, so many. I was, I also thought about it. Not to take everything such a serious note, but I always think back to the illness conversations. If they have medicine, if they're medicine takers, or they have diseases, or they're dealing with something. I think this one is always pertinent in my mind because I keep remembering it so vividly. When my dad was sick, and it was pretty much he was on his third round of cancer, and this time it was in the brain. We were like, we got to do whatever we can, even though up to the first, the second, and the third, we were doing whatever, trying to make him fight. And you got this, and this, that, and the other. And we were visiting the hospital one day, my sister and I, and a nurse came in with these papers, and she was setting up a DNR for him. And you know me, I was shocked that my sister, who is unhinged at most times, did not get upset, but I did. And my father knew that about me, and he said, I purposely had her come so that both of you are here, so that because I knew if I left it unsaid, you would not adhere. Right. You would be the one to fight. He's right. Because now I'm thinking, I kind of had to take the child stance. How dare you tell my dad, tell me we shouldn't use every measure. Yeah. But it turned out to be his wish. So, but that was his way of having the conversation with us. I don't think I would have ever thought that we would have to, because like I said, you're so afraid to breach those topics. Yeah. But that is definitely one, especially if you have a parent who is dealing with something that may not turn out the way you would like. Have that conversation or ask that question.
And I have to mention this too, with my grandmother being in the hospital. It's definitely something that they introduce also when a person is of a certain age. Yeah. So I'm gonna say this too, like, make sure that you understand what's happening with your loved one in those situations.
Absolutely.
Right? Because, maybe there are some instances where a DNR is necessary. Now, in your case, it was his wish. So, hands down, you grant his wish, right? But in cases where, your loved one is not saying either way, that's what they want, but it's something that the hospitals are introducing, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do it, because they've been pushing that because of her age. And we haven't adhered to that because she's not at that stage where
Right.
we need to say do not resuscitate, right?
Right.
But I just wanted to put that out there for people to advocate. You don't have to, just because they're forceful about it,
Right.
you still don't have to
You
sign
don't
it.
have to comply.
Right. You don't, absolutely. Absolutely.
And who decides how much life a person is supposed to have?
Yeah.
Your grandmother is what, 97?
95.
95. So have you deemed 95 enough living? That's not your decision.
Right.
So that's definitely a conversation you want to have with the actual person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But
like
we're going to pin it. I know. We're going to pin it right here. We're going to take a quick commercial break, everyone. Don't go anywhere. We're just talking about conversations that we need to have with our parents. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Yes.
And we are back. Let's bring in my bestie and we're going to continue this conversation. So listen, you had
I'm gonna let you take this one first.
Sure.
Not the conversations you don't want to have. The ones that, because we're adults,
what are you referring to?
And we don't.
Are you referring to something that we mentioned last night with that they didn't want to have when we were younger?
Exactly.
Now they want to talk about while we're adults here. When you talk about, sexual relations.
Absolutely.
Those conversations I don't want to have.
Not ever.
So there's nothing to take there. I don't want to have. I just say, but then I go back to being a kid. La 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 la.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's not even a long conversation there. Oh no, thank you.
Too far.
I don't ever want to know.
I'm like too far. TMI.
Right. I don't think
so. In light of what I would do, right, when those conversations come up, moving right along.
Right.
We're going to go into something else.
Absolutely.
So because we were talking about technology earlier, other conversations that we need to have, and this is like a constant battle, and because I don't live in the same state as my mom anymore, and if my little brother Ryan is still watching, I'm sorry. And sorry to my bestie, because the navigation is always a problem, whether it is on the phone or in the car.
It's always the navigation's fault.
Right.
Never the user.
Right. So when I was at home, I was driving my mom's car and we had this whole conversation, almost argument about the navigation and how things are supposed to work. But my mom rode around. Yep, I'm telling on you, Mom. My mom rode around prior to me coming to town, but she rode around with the navigation on saying, oh, it's on and it's talking to me like it was still in the mode of whatever her last destination was.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that's entirely true because, of course, when you drive with navigation, right, it's always going to show you where you are and where you're going if it's on without even having a destination plugged in, right?
Correct.
So I was trying to explain that's how it works. Like it's going to drive with you and it's going to show you exactly where you are. But we didn't get too far with that conversation.
Well, the bigger thing was when we tried to use it, wasn't it like Des Moines?
Oh, it was in Iowa
or somewhere.
New Jersey. Yeah.
So every time we tried to put something in, it was giving us directions from Des Moines, Iowa. She's never been there.
Right. And we can say that with confidence.
Right. She's never been there.
Never.
So in that case, that discussion / argument was, it's the GPS is just not working. I tried it. Don't even bother.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Is that it? I don't
user
think
error.
Right.
User error.
Right.
So
wait.
In light of that too.
Okay.
Before you go on, in light of that also. So I often get called, even though I'm not there anymore in that state, right? I often get calls for directions.
From North Carolina.
So I have to give directions, even if I don't know in particular where that place is, then I have to go on my navigation at home to direct on how to get there from my navigation here on my phone so I can get her to where she needs to go.
I'm laughing because you guys always know we say this all the time. Our moms are friends. We're friends. Her mom's phone would never accept a phone call from my mom. We don't know why. They used to. It didn't stop out of nowhere. And they were trying to fix it on their own for a while. So then I got the question, Regina can't call me. I said, she has to have something on her phone. Mm-hmm. She had her blocked. Oh no, I wouldn't block Jeanette.
She was blocked.
When we were having a cookout in the back, I said, can I see your phone for a minute? Just let me just look. I couldn't even do it then. They had to do it and went down to the bottom and it was blocked.
Yeah.
But I would have never done that. No, but when you don't close your phone, you don't lock the phone, you put it in your pocket, it does whatever it wants.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not paying attention, that umbrella, that window shade down, and you turn off the cellular service, and I can't send a text message. I don't know what your phone is doing, man. I can't see it. Or you get the phone call that says, Simma, there's something wrong with this phone. Well, it's not the phone.
User error. That's what I always say. User error
every single time.
Of late, too, another funny one on the same order is the television, the new smart TVs. And when you're combining your Fire Stick, right, with your smart TV, with your cable, and you have one universal remote, trouble.
And
so my godbrother was watching, and I know he feels the pain here because he had to get on the phone with my mom to tell her how to get her phone back, get her remote back in order so that she could see the shows that she wanted to see. And he had to instruct her and direct her over the phone. So that's another big one. The TV remote with this new technology.
Well, the crazy part is a lot of these are all like technology based, because those are the advancements. Mm-hmm. But it's the shopping or the want to shop that really gets me.
Oh,
because you're playing your games on your phone, and they're sending 9 million advertisements. And listen, let's just be clear. Me and my bestie, we have adapted this wonderful company that has these great sweatsuits. So we play games.
We will not mention.
We will not.
Unless they're going to give us a call.
Exactly. So every time I play mine, and then I just found out the other day, every time she plays hers, that advertisement comes up. Mm-hmm. Everybody's listening. Mm-hmm. So, those seniors that we're talking about, they play their games too. And theirs comes up with, I'm going to tell my mom, QVC is selling Skechers for $20. Instead of going to QVC to see if there's an actual $20 sale, Shima. Do you think this is right? This the third time I done told you, don't you click that. I don't even know if that's real. It probably has 2 C's on the end of that name. Yeah. If you want to know, Google, search it. We always got to be careful with that. Search it.
Go to a search engine.
Go search and see if QVC is selling Skechers for $19.99.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they probably aren't, but it's not coming from that site.
Yeah,
it's an advertisement.
Yeah,
and they're the same thing about the stuff that comes in the mail.
Or through more so too now through, I'm going to say Facebook, because they're Facebook users, but everything that they see, because there's so many advertisements that come through social media, and everything that they see is like, oh, I want this. Where did you see that? I saw it on Facebook. That's the common comment, right? I saw it on Facebook and I was going to click the link. Don't click the link. What company is that? I don't know.
Right. Well, at least they say, I want this, and I saw it on Facebook. Some of them say, wait, and then their delivery guy brings 3 boxes of the same thing. And then I'm going to tell it all. The reasoning is, oh, yeah, I'm giving one to your sister and your niece and one for us. No. Nobody needs 3 power wash brushes. No person ever needs 3 power wash brushes.
Yeah.
Or ear irrigators.
Not the ear irrigators.
Where it says buy one, get one free, and you buy one and it comes 6 of them come and they charge you for all of them. Right. Stop accepting every offer.
Stop clicking the link.
Right. No clicking links.
Maybe we should get T-shirts made for them that says "Don't click the link."
Right. And it should be a picture of a hand and a phone.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's so many. They're targeted in so many ways. Even snail mail is antiquated, but they want to offer you 9 million credit cards. They want to offer to buy your car. Of course, you're going to get those. Why? Because you have registered your car. You've purchased your car. They know it. It's insured.
Yeah.
And of course, insurance companies and car dealerships are all selling your information to these third-party companies, and they're sending you 9 million offers a day.
Yeah.
And you would be amazed at how many credit card offers are coming through with your name on it, with printed information with your name on it. Sidebar, I will always say this, even though they don't have all of the information they need, a printed form can be deceitful and used for deceit. Shred it.
Yeah.
Always shred it.
Absolutely.
I had to throw that in there because I'm always shredding something. But they're targeted in so many ways, and it gets worse. You hear some of the horror stories, like to take it even further, where people's mortgages are being taken or taken over because, an older person and nobody's really monitoring that information. And next thing you know, they're no longer the owner of their homes.
And it's not the mortgages that are being taken over, it's the deed.
No, it's the deed.
Which is a bigger issue, right? So they're paying for a house that they don't even own.
They don't even own.
Because these scammers are taking the deeds from the people. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So know where, where your deed is, right? Your own copy of your deed, and know where it's recorded, right? So that you can go to your municipality and get information about your deeds recording, because they are stealing deeds.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that leads to having the money discussion, because that's another thing. They've raised us to go out and make our own livelihoods and make our own money. We need to talk about your finances, what you want done with them, what you have, accounts that you've created, pensions that are coming through. Not like that's all a part of that heavy conversation that you don't want to have, but you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So this has been absolutely fun to talk about. And I have something top of mind that I lost. So this is 50 right now.
Right. And that leads to the menopause conversation that we don't want to have, but we got to have because we got to figure out where we're going based on where they've been.
Absolutely.
Look at that
Absolutely. And I think what you should do when you have these hard conversations, right? Write everything down, put it in a safe, something that can't be compromised in the event that something happens to your home, or right, like, you know, a fire safe that can house all of your documents that you need, and let the important people in your life know where they are.
You know, I know we're gonna be ending in a minute, and I actually would like to end on this note because it's more of a safety thing. We joke and we play, you know, we laugh about our parents, especially our moms, but they're still very agile and still active. So they're driving, they're traveling, and they're not, you know, hindered by their age. So one of the things that I have to say that I do, and I encourage that we all do now because we've connected ourselves. We use an app, and I'm going to say it because I think it's working for us. Life 360.
Yeah.
We have on our sister show, Fem Talk, our other co-host, Dr. Mimi, had some tragedy in her family with one of her nephews. And they all decided that no one would be unnoticed. No one would go out into this world and not know where anyone is. So when I heard this conversation, I heard the tragedy, I heard what they decided to do, I figured my mom has a cell phone. She has a car. She's still driving. She's 85. She'll be 85 in July. I need to track her. She had a very bad car accident with a deer and on a road that was kind of obscure. And my sister and my niece called me to go get her, of course, because they know I'm going to. I just didn't know where. And we, thank God that we're two types of families. We're technical, but we're also mile markers. My sister is a mile marker person. So she was able to tell me just about where my mother was. But from then on, we've been using Life 360. So every day, because she still goes, anytime she pulls that car out of the driveway, it says, Jeanette has left home.
Yes.
And when she's on her way back, Jeanette has arrived home. And it also tells her and everyone else that we've not charged our phones. We've not everyone. And you know, our two families are connected on that same platform. So
and I can remember a parent back in New Jersey, back home, a parent told me about Life 360. It was just about the time at junior high school, and our kids were starting to, you know, explore, ride their bikes on their own, go into town on their own. So, you know, the parents shared that particular app to say, you know, track your kids' phones, because then you'll know where they are at all times. So,
so it works both ways.
Yeah.
You know, we want to keep the people around as long as we can.
Absolutely.
And safe.
Absolutely.
So we can have more conversations that
we don't want to have, but we need to. Absolutely. All right, everyone. This has been another episode of The Whole Living Show. We are grateful that you joined us tonight. Make sure that you tune in again next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have some new guests on the show. Take care, everyone, and we will see you next week.